Welcome back to my channel. Today we explore the value of specific coins, the most valuable Lincoln Old Wheat penny coins value in market in dollar. So let's get started. First up, the 1943 Abraham Lincoln steel penny without a mint mark. This coin was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, which is why there is no mint mark below the date. Unlike most Lincoln wheat pennies, which were made of copper, the 1943 penny was produced using zinc-coated steel. This change was made during World War II, when copper was needed for military equipment and ammunition. As a result, the steel penny became a short-lived but historic experiment in American coinage. A coin in fine condition shows moderate circulation wear but still retains clear and readable design details. On a 1943 steel penny in fine condition, Abraham Lincoln's portrait is clearly visible, though some of the finer details in his hair and coat may be slightly worn. The date, the word liberty, and the motto "In God We Trust" are still readable and distinct. On the reverse, the wheat ears are visible, though some inner lines may be softened from circulation. Because steel pennies were often mistaken for dimes and circulated heavily, many examples show wear, scratches, and surface marks. Scratches are very common on 1943 steel pennies. The steel core, combined with the thin zinc coating, makes these coins more prone to surface marks than copper pennies. Over time, steel pennies were often stored improperly, exposed to moisture, or handled roughly, which caused scratches and wear. Light scratches are expected and generally accepted by collectors in fine condition. What matters most is that the coin has not developed heavy rust or deep corrosion, as those issues can significantly reduce value. The 1943 Lincoln steel penny without a mint mark had a very high mintage, with hundreds of millions produced at the Philadelphia Mint. Because of this, it is considered a common issue, especially in circulated grades like fine condition. However, its unusual composition and historical background make it extremely popular with collectors. Many people remember finding steel pennies as children because they stick to magnets, making them stand out from all other U.S. coins. In today's market, a 1943 Lincoln steel penny without a mint mark in fine condition typically has a value ranging from about 25 cents to $1. Coins with fewer scratches, stronger details, and no rust often sell closer to the higher end of this range. Coins that show heavier wear, spotting, or small areas of corrosion usually fall toward the lower end. Even though the value is modest, it is still far above the original face value of 1 cent and reflects the coin's unique place in history. Condition is especially important for steel pennies because they're vulnerable to rust. The zinc coating was meant to protect the steel core, but once that coating wears or scratches, the metal underneath can begin to corrode. A steel penny in fine condition that remains solid and free from major rust is much more desirable than one that has flaking metal or pitted surfaces. Collectors often prefer lightly worn coins with honest circulation marks over coins that have been cleaned or altered. Although the 1943 steel penny is common, it is always worth checking for unusual varieties or errors. Some rare 1943 pennies were accidentally struck on copper planchets instead of steel and are among the most valuable coins in American numismatics. These copper 1943 pennies are extremely rare and worth hundreds of thousands of dollars, but they are not magnetic. A genuine steel penny will stick to a magnet, which is an easy way to confirm its composition. Other minor errors, such as off-center strikes or die cracks, can also add value, even in circulated condition. The historical significance of the 1943 Lincoln steel penny is a major reason for its continued popularity. This coin represents a time when the United States was fully committed to the war effort, and even everyday items like pennies were altered to support national needs. The steel penny tells the story of sacrifice, adaptation, and resource management during World War II. Holding one today is like holding a small piece of wartime history. Many collectors enjoy owning at least one 1943 steel penny because it is so different from other U.S. coins. Its silver-gray appearance, magnetic property, and short production period make it stand out in any collection. Even in fine condition with scratches, it remains an educational and conversation-starting piece. Next up, the 1947 Abraham Lincoln wheat penny coin without a mint mark is a classic example of post-World War II American coinage and remains a popular piece among collectors. This particular coin is described as being in dirty condition with some scratches, showing clear signs of circulation and long-term handling. While its appearance may be worn, understanding its history, design, metal composition, and condition helps explain its realistic value in today's market. The absence of a mint mark on this coin indicates that it was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. In 1947, the Philadelphia Mint produced a very large number of Lincoln wheat pennies, making the no mint mark 1947 penny a common issue. Because of its high mintage, this coin is not considered rare, but it is widely collected due to its age and classic design. The 1947 Lincoln wheat penny is composed of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc. This high copper content gives the coin its traditional reddish-brown appearance, although many coins have darkened over time due to circulation, environmental exposure, and storage conditions. A dirty appearance often results from years of handling, oxidation, and contact with dirt or oils, which is common for coins that have been in circulation for decades. This coin is described as being in dirty condition with some scratches. In grading terms, a dirty coin with scratches typically falls into a lower circulated grade. Lincoln's facial features, hair, and coat may appear worn, and the wheat stalks on the reverse may show flattening. Scratches are common on circulated pennies and usually come from contact with other coins or rough surfaces. While dirt and scratches reduce eye appeal, they also serve as evidence of the coin's long history and everyday use. In today's market, the value of a 1947 Lincoln wheat penny without a mint mark in dirty, circulated condition typically ranges from 5 cents to about 15 cents. Coins with heavy dirt, dark color, or noticeable scratches usually sell at the lower end of this range, while examples with clearer details and slightly better surfaces may reach the upper end. Because the coin is common, its value is primarily determined by condition rather than rarity. Higher values are possible for coins in very fine, extra fine, or uncirculated condition. A 1947 wheat penny graded MS-65 by a professional grading service can sell for $100 to $25 depending on color designations such as red, red-brown, or brown. Rare mint errors, including double dyes, off-center strikes, or other production anomalies can significantly increase value and may sell for hundreds of dollars if properly authenticated. However, such error coins are uncommon. Even though this coin is dirty and scratched, it still holds historical value. It represents a time when copper pennies were an essential part of daily commerce in America. Coins like this were used for small purchases, public transportation, and everyday transactions. Each mark, scratch, and layer of dirt tells a story of real-world use, making circulated coins meaningful to collectors and history enthusiasts alike. Next up, the 1937 Abraham Lincoln wheat penny without a mint mark. This coin was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, which is why there is no mint mark below the date. The Lincoln wheat penny series was produced from 1909 to 1958 and is one of the most collected coin series in the United States. The year 1937 places this penny during the late years of the Great Depression, a time when coins were used heavily in everyday life and circulated widely across the country. Some scratches on the surface of the coin are completely normal. Over more than 80 years of circulation, pennies were carried in pockets, purses, drawers, and jars, where they rubbed against other coins and hard surfaces. Light surface scratches do not usually have a major impact on the value of a coin in very fine condition. Collectors generally accept minor scratches as long as they do not distract heavily from the overall appearance or damage the main design elements. The 1937 Lincoln wheat penny without a mint mark is considered a common date because millions were produced at the Philadelphia Mint. While it is not rare, it remains popular among collectors because of its age, classic design, and historical background. Coins in very fine condition are especially attractive because they strike a balance between affordability and detail. Many collectors prefer very fine examples when building a complete set of wheat pennies, as these coins still show much of the original design while remaining reasonably priced. In today's market, a 1937 Abraham Lincoln wheat penny without a mint mark in very fine condition typically has a value ranging from about $1 to $3. Coins with fewer scratches, attractive natural color, and strong eye appeal usually fall toward the higher end of this range. Coins with heavier surface marks, darker toning, or slightly more wear may sell closer to the lower end. Even at the lower end of the range, the coin is still worth many times its original face value of 1 cent. Color plays an important role in determining value. Most 1937 wheat pennies today have turned brown or red-brown due to natural copper oxidation over time. This is normal and expected for circulated copper coins. Coins with even toning and original unclean surfaces are generally more desirable than coins that have been polished or cleaned. Cleaning can remove original metal and damage the surface, which often reduces collector interest and value. Although the 1937 wheat penny is a common issue, it is always worth checking for unusual features or minting errors. Some coins may show doubled lettering, off-center strikes, or small die cracks, which can increase value even in circulated condition. However, the vast majority of 1937 pennies are standard issues, and their value is mainly based on condition, scratches, color, and overall appearance. The historical appeal of the 1937 wheat penny adds to its charm. This coin circulated during a challenging time in American history, when many families relied on every penny to get by. It may have been used to buy basic necessities, saved in jars, or passed through countless hands during the Great Depression. Holding a coin like this provides a tangible connection to the past and helps bring history to life. Many collectors enjoy wheat pennies because they are affordable, widely available, and rich in history. A 1937 penny in very fine condition is a solid example of how well these coins were designed and how they have survived decades of use. Even with some scratches, the coin still tells a story of circulation, commerce, and everyday American life.
Next up, the 1937 Abraham Lincoln wheat penny coin without a mint mark is a well-known and highly collectible piece of early American coinage that reflects the economic and cultural atmosphere of the late 1930s. This coin is described as being in extra fine condition with some scratches, meaning it shows light signs of circulation while still preserving sharp design details. To understand its value in today's market, it is important to explore its history, design, metal composition, minting background, and overall condition. The Lincoln wheat penny was first introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. It marked a historic moment in U.S. coinage as the first regularly circulating coin to feature a real historical figure. The obverse of the coin displays Abraham Lincoln's right-facing portrait, designed by Victor David Brenner. The word "Liberty" appears to the left of Lincoln's image, while the motto "In God We Trust" runs along the top rim. The date, 1937, is clearly shown on the right side of Lincoln's shoulder. On the reverse side, the coin features the iconic wheat ears design, with two stalks of wheat framing the inscriptions 1 cent and United States of America. Above these words is the Latin motto, E pluribus unum. This design was used from 1909 through 1958 and symbolizes America's agricultural strength and economic foundation. The 1937 issue belongs to the late Depression era period, a time when the country was slowly recovering from economic hardship. The absence of a mint mark on this coin indicates that it was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. In 1937, the Philadelphia Mint produced a large number of Lincoln wheat pennies, making this issue fairly common. Because of its high mintage, the 1937 no-mint mark penny is not considered rare, but remains popular due to its age, historical background, and classic wheat design. The 1937 wheat penny is composed of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc. This high copper content gives the coin its traditional reddish-brown appearance, although over time many coins develop darker toning or color changes due to circulation and environmental exposure. Coins may appear red, red-brown, or brown, and color plays a significant role in determining value, especially in higher grades. In today's market, the value of a 1937 wheat penny without a mint mark in extra fine condition typically ranges from 40 cents to about $1. Coins with attractive color, minimal distractions, and balanced wear often sell toward the higher end of this range. If the scratches are more noticeable or the coin has darker toning, the value may be closer to the lower end. Because this coin is common, condition is the primary factor influencing its price. Higher values are possible for uncirculated examples. A 1937 wheat penny graded MS65 by a professional grading service can sell for $15 to $30, depending on color designation such as red, red-brown, or brown. Rare mint errors, including double dies, off-center strikes, or other production anomalies, can significantly increase value and may sell for hundreds of dollars if authenticated. However, such errors are uncommon and not typical.
Next up today, we are looking at a classic and well-preserved coin from the final decade of the Lincoln Wheat Penny series, the 1950 Abraham Lincoln Wheat Penny without a mint mark. This coin was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, which is why there is no letter below the date. The Lincoln Wheat Penny series, produced from 1909 until 1958, remains one of the most popular and widely collected coin series in United States history. The year 1950 represents a period of post-World War II growth in America, when the economy was expanding and coins were heavily used in everyday transactions across the country. Even in extra-fine condition, some light scratches are normal. These minor surface marks often come from brief circulation, handling, or storage with other coins over many years. Light scratches do not usually have a significant impact on the value of an extra-fine coin as long as they are not deep or distracting. Collectors understand that coins from the 1950s were used in commerce and that minor imperfections are part of a coin's natural history. The 1950 Lincoln Wheat Penny without a mint mark is considered a common date as a large number of coins were produced at the Philadelphia Mint. Because of this high mintage, the coin is not rare, especially in circulated grades. However, coins in extra fine condition are more desirable because they show minimal wear and retain much of their original detail. Many collectors prefer extra-fine examples because they offer an excellent balance between affordability and visual appeal. In today's market, a 1950 Abraham Lincoln Wheat Penny without a mint mark in extra-fine condition typically has a value ranging from about $1 to $3. Coins with fewer scratches, strong eye appeal, and attractive natural color often sell closer to the higher end of this range. Coins with more noticeable surface marks or darker toning may be closer to the lower end. While this value may seem modest, it is still many times higher than the original face value of 1 cent, reflecting both the coin's age and collector demand. Color plays an important role in the overall appeal of copper coins. Most 1950 wheat pennies today display a brown or red-brown color due to natural oxidation over time. This is completely normal and expected for circulated copper coins. Coins with even toning in original surfaces are generally more attractive to collectors. Coins that appear overly bright or shiny may have been cleaned, which can reduce their value. Natural wear and aging are often preferred because they preserve the coin's authenticity. Although the 1950 wheat penny is not considered rare, it is always worth checking for unusual features or minting errors. Coins with doubled lettering, off-center strikes, or small die cracks can sometimes be worth more than standard examples, even in circulated condition. However, most 1950 pennies are normal issues, and their value is primarily determined by condition, scratches, color, and overall eye appeal. The historical appeal of the 1950 Lincoln wheat penny adds to its charm. This coin circulated during a time of optimism and growth in the United States, when families were building new lives after the war and everyday commerce was thriving. It may have been used to buy small items, saved in jars, or pass through countless hands during the early years of the modern American economy. Holding a coin like this provides a tangible connection to mid-20th century American life. Many collectors enjoy wheat pennies because they are accessible, affordable, and rich in history. A 1950 penny in extra fine condition is a great example of how well these coins were made and how well they have survived over time. Even with some scratches, the coin still displays strong detail and tells a story of careful use and preservation.
Next up, the 1934 Abraham Lincoln wheat penny coin without a mint mark is a classic piece of early 20th century American coinage and holds strong historical interest for collectors. This coin is described as being in good condition with some scratches, indicating that it has years of circulation, while still preserving its essential design details. To understand its value in today's market, it is important to explore its history, design, metal composition, minting background, and overall condition. The Lincoln wheat penny was introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of the birth of Abraham Lincoln. It was the first regularly circulating United States coin to feature a real historical figure rather than an allegorical symbol. The obverse of the coin displays Abraham Lincoln's right-facing portrait, designed by Victor David Brenner. The word Liberty appears to the left of Lincoln's portrait, while the motto, "In God We Trust," is placed along the top rim. The date, 1934, is clearly visible to the right of Lincoln's shoulder. The absence of a mint mark on this coin indicates that it was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. In 1934, the Philadelphia Mint produced a large number of Lincoln wheat pennies, making the 1934 no mint mark issue a common date. Because of this high mintage, the coin is not considered rare, but it remains desirable due to its age and classic design. The 1934 Lincoln wheat penny is composed of 95% copper, with the remaining 5% made up of tin and zinc. This high copper content gives the coin its traditional reddish-brown color, although many coins have darkened over time due to circulation, environmental exposure, and storage conditions. Coins may appear red, red-brown, or brown, and color plays an important role in determining value. This coin is described as being in good condition with some scratches. In grading terms, good condition means the coin shows noticeable wear, especially on Lincoln's hair, cheek, and coat, as well as on the wheat stalks on the reverse. However, all major details remain visible, and the date and lettering are still clear. The scratches mentioned likely resulted from everyday circulation and handling over many decades. While scratches reduce eye appeal, they are common for coins of this age and do not eliminate collectability. In today's market, the value of a 1934 Lincoln wheat penny without a mint mark in good circulated condition typically ranges from 20 cents to about 60 cents. Coins with heavier wear, darker color, or more noticeable scratches tend to sell toward the lower end of this range, while examples with cleaner surfaces and better overall appearance may sell closer to the upper end. Because the coin is common, its value is mainly influenced by condition rather than rarity. Higher values are possible for coins in very fine, extra fine, or uncirculated condition. A 1934 wheat penny graded MS-65 by a professional grading service can sell for $150 to $3,000, depending on color and surface quality. Rare mint errors, such as double dies, off-center strikes, or other production mistakes, can dramatically increase value and may sell for hundreds of dollars, but these are uncommon and require professional authentication. Even though this coin is not rare, it holds strong historical and sentimental value. It represents America during the Great Depression era, a time of economic hardship and social change. Coins like this were used daily by millions of people, and each scratch and worn surface reflects real-life history. For many collectors, owning a penny from the 1930s offers a tangible connection to the past.
Next up is the 1927 Abraham Lincoln wheat penny with D mint mark. The D mint mark below the date tells us that this coin was struck at the Denver Mint. Lincoln wheat pennies were produced from 1909 to 1958 and are among the most collected coins in United States history. The year 1927 places this penny in the period between World War I and the Great Depression, a time when coins were heavily used in everyday commerce across America. A coin described as being in dirty condition usually shows heavy circulation, dark toning, and surface buildup from decades of handling and storage. Dirt, grime, and uneven coloring are common on pennies of this age, especially those that were not carefully preserved. Even in dirty condition, the main design elements of a 1927 wheat penny are often still visible. Abraham Lincoln's portrait can usually be identified, along with the date, the word liberty, and the motto, "In God We Trust," although these details may appear worn and less sharp due to long-term circulation. Some scratches on the surface of the coin are completely normal and expected. Over nearly 100 years, pennies were carried in pockets, mixed with other coins, dropped, and stored in jars or boxes. These everyday conditions often cause scratches, nicks, and marks. Light to moderate scratches generally do not destroy collector interest for common date wheat pennies in lower condition, but they do limit the value compared to cleaner, higher-grade examples. The 1927 Lincoln wheat penny with a D mint mark is considered a more challenging date than many later wheat pennies, especially in higher grades. While it is not extremely rare, collectors often pay closer attention to coins from the 1920s, particularly those struck at the Denver Mint. In dirty condition, however, the coin is still considered a circulated example and is valued mainly for its age, mint mark, and historical appeal, rather than sharp detail. In today's market, a 1927 Abraham Lincoln wheat penny with D mint mark in dirty condition typically has a value ranging from about 50 cents to $2. Coins with readable dates, visible mint marks, and no major damage usually fall toward the higher end of this range. Coins with heavy wear, deep scratches, corrosion, or very dark surfaces may be closer to the lower end. Even at lower values, the coin is still worth far more than its original face value of 1 cent. Color and surface quality play an important role in collector interest. Most 1927 wheat pennies today show a dark brown color or chocolate color due to natural copper oxidation over time. This aging is normal and expected. Collectors generally prefer coins that have not been cleaned, even if they are dirty. Cleaning a coin can remove original metal and leave unnatural surfaces, which often reduces value. Original dirt and toning are usually preferred over a cleaned but damaged appearance. Although most 1927 D wheat pennies are standard issues, it is always worth examining the coin carefully for unusual features or minting errors. Some coins may show die cracks, weak strikes, or minor doubling, which can increase collector interest. However, such errors are uncommon, and most coins are valued primarily based on condition and overall appearance. The historical significance of the 1927 Lincoln wheat penny adds to its appeal. This coin circulated during a time of economic growth followed by uncertainty, just a few years before the Great Depression. It may have been used for everyday purchases, saved during hard times, or passed down through generations. Holding a coin like this offers a real connection to the daily lives of Americans nearly a century ago.
First up, the 1956 Abraham Lincoln wheat penny coin with D mint mark is a classic example of mid-20th century American coinage and remains a favorite among collectors around the world. This particular coin is described as being in extra fine condition with some scratches, meaning it shows light signs of circulation but still retains strong detail and good overall eye appeal. To understand its true value in today's market, it is important to look closely at its history, design, metal composition, minting details, and condition. The Lincoln wheat penny was first introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. It was the first regularly circulating U.S. coin to feature a real historical person rather than a symbolic figure. On the obverse of the coin, Abraham Lincoln's right-facing portrait is shown, designed by Victor David Brenner. The word liberty appears to the left of Lincoln's portrait, while the phrase "In God We Trust" is displayed along the top edge. The date, 1956, is clearly visible on the right side, just in front of Lincoln's shoulder. The reverse side of the coin features the famous wheat ears design, with two stalks of wheat framing the words 1 cent and United States of America. Above the center inscription is the Latin motto E pluribus unum. This reverse design was used from 1909 until 1958, making the 1956 D one of the later issues in the wheat penny series. The wheat design symbolizes America's agricultural strength and prosperity during the early and mid-20th century. The D mint mark on this coin indicates that it was struck at the Denver Mint. In 1956, the Denver Mint produced a very large number of Lincoln wheat pennies, making the 1956 D a common date among collectors. Because of its high mintage, this coin is not considered rare, but it is still widely collected due to its historical significance and classic design. The 1956 Lincoln wheat penny is composed of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc. This high copper content gives the coin its traditional reddish-brown color, although over time, many coins develop darker toning or surface discoloration, depending on storage and environmental conditions. Coins that retain more original red color are often more desirable, while brown or mixed color examples are still collectible, but usually worth less. This coin is described as being in extra fine condition with some scratches. In extra fine condition, most of the fine details in Lincoln's hair, coat, and facial features remain sharp and well-defined. On the reverse, the wheat stalks still show strong lines and texture. The scratches mentioned are likely the result of normal circulation or contact with other coins over many years. While scratches do slightly reduce the coin's eye appeal, they do not eliminate its collector value, especially when the overall condition remains strong. In today's market, the value of a 1956 Lincoln wheat penny with D mint mark in extra fine condition generally ranges from 10 cents to about 30 cents. Coins with attractive color, minimal distractions, and even wear may sell toward the higher end of this range. If the coin has noticeable scratches or darker toning, it will usually fall closer to the lower end. Because this coin is common, its value is closely tied to condition rather than rarity. Higher values are possible for coins in uncirculated or mint state condition. A 1956 D wheat penny graded MS65 by a professional grading service can sell for $5 to $15, depending on color designation, such as red, red-brown, or brown. Rare mint errors, such as double dyes, off-center strikes, or repunched mint marks, can greatly increase value and may sell for hundreds of dollars if authenticated. However, these error coins are uncommon. Even though this coin is not rare, it holds lasting appeal for collectors and history enthusiasts. It represents a time when copper pennies were widely used in daily transactions and reflects the economic and cultural life of 1950s America.
Next up, the 1916 Abraham Lincoln wheat penny without mint mark. The absence of a mint mark indicates that this coin was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, which was the primary mint facility of the United States during this period. The Lincoln wheat penny series began in 1909 and continued until 1958, and coins from the 19-teens are particularly appealing to collectors due to their age and their connection to early 20th century American history. The year 1916 places this coin during a time of global change and uncertainty. Although the United States had not yet entered World War I, economic and political conditions were shifting, and coins were used extensively in daily transactions. Pennies from this era often experienced heavy circulation, which explains why many surviving examples today are found in worn or dirty condition. A coin described as dirty condition typically shows dark toning, surface buildup, and clear evidence of long-term use.
Some scratches do not automatically make a coin undesirable. These marks are often the result of decades of everyday handling, contact with other coins, and storage in non-protective environments. Light to moderate scratches are typical for wheat pennies of this age and condition. While scratches do affect value, they are generally accepted by collectors when evaluating lower-grade, early-date coins. The 1916 Lincoln wheat penny without a mint mark is not considered rare, but it is an older issue that carries stronger collector interest than many later wheat pennies. Coins from the 19-teens are often valued more for their age and historical presence than for rarity. In dirty condition, the coin's value is primarily determined by date clarity, overall wear, surface condition, and whether the coin has been cleaned or altered. In today's market, a 1916 Abraham Lincoln wheat penny without a mint mark in dirty condition typically has a value ranging from approximately $1 to $3. Coins with clear dates, readable lettering, and no severe damage may sell toward the higher end of this range. Coins with heavy corrosion, deep scratches, or nearly worn-away details may fall closer to the lower end. Even at the lower end, the coin remains worth significantly more than its original face value of 1 cent. Color and surface originality play an important role in collector appeal. Most 1916 wheat pennies today display dark brown coloration due to natural copper oxidation over time. This aging process is normal and expected. Collectors generally prefer coins that have not been cleaned, even if they appear dirty. Cleaning can strip away original metal and leave unnatural surfaces, often reducing the coin's value and desirability. Although most 1916 wheat pennies are standard issues, it is always advisable to examine the coin carefully for unusual characteristics. Minor minting errors, such as die cracks or weak strikes, can add interest, though they are uncommon. However, the majority of coins from this year are valued based on condition rather than error status. The historical importance of the 1916 Lincoln wheat penny contributes greatly to its appeal. This coin circulated during a time when the United States was on the verge of entering a major global conflict, and it would have been used in everyday transactions by ordinary Americans. It may have passed through countless hands, been saved during uncertain times, and survived more than a century of change. In conclusion, the 1916 Abraham Lincoln wheat penny without a mint mark in dirty condition, even with some scratches, remains a collectible and meaningful coin. In today's market, its value generally ranges from about $1 to $3, depending on wear, surface condition, and overall appearance. While it is not a high-value rarity, it represents an important early chapter in the Lincoln wheat penny series and stands as a tangible reminder of America's past, preserved in copper and history.
Next up, the 1946 Abraham Lincoln wheat penny coin with D mint mark is a meaningful piece of American coinage from the immediate post-World War II era. This coin is described as being in good condition with some scratches, showing that it's circulated actively while still preserving its basic design and historical character. To understand its value in today's market, it is important to look at its history, design, metal composition, minting details, and overall condition. The Lincoln wheat penny was introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. It marked the first time a real historical figure appeared on a regularly circulating United States coin. The obverse features a right-facing portrait of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner. The word "Liberty" appears to the left of Lincoln's image, while the motto, "In God We Trust," is placed along the top rim. The date, 1946, is shown clearly to the right of Lincoln's shoulder. The D mint mark on this coin indicates that it was struck at the Denver Mint. In 1946, the Denver Mint produced a large number of Lincoln wheat pennies, making the 1946 D a common issue. Because of its high mintage, this coin is not considered rare, but it remains popular with collectors due to its age, historical context, and classic design.
The 1946 Lincoln wheat penny is composed of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc. After World War II, the U.S. Mint returned to this traditional copper composition following the steel cent experiment of 1943. The high copper content gives the coin its reddish-brown color, although many circulated examples have darkened over time due to wear, oxidation, and environmental exposure. This coin is described as being in good condition with some scratches. In grading terms, good condition means that the coin shows noticeable wear across Lincoln's hair, face, and coat, as well as on the wheat stalks on the reverse. However, all major design elements remain visible, and the date and lettering are still readable. The scratches mentioned are common for circulated coins and typically result from years of contact with other coins and surfaces. While scratches reduce eye appeal, they are expected on coins of this age and do not eliminate their collectability. In today's market, the value of a 1946 Lincoln wheat penny with D mint mark in good circulated condition generally ranges from 30 to 55 cents. Coins with heavier wear, darker color, or more noticeable scratches usually sell closer to the lower end of this range, while examples with clearer details and better overall appearance may reach the upper end. Because this coin is common, its value is largely determined by condition rather than rarity. Higher values are possible for coins in very fine, extra fine, or uncirculated condition. A 1946 D wheat penny graded MS65 by a professional grading service can sell for $80 to $200, depending on color designation such as red, red-brown, or brown. Rare mint errors, including double dies, off-center strikes, or repunched mint marks, can significantly increase value and may sell for hundreds of dollars if properly authenticated. However, these error coins are uncommon. Even though this coin is well circulated, it still holds historical and educational value. It represents a time when copper pennies were widely used in everyday transactions across America. Coins like this were exchanged daily for goods and services, and each scratch and worn surface reflect real-life history. For collectors, owning a post-war wheat penny offers a tangible connection to an important period in American history.